We've all seen the misleading photos the mainstream media is pushing and accusing Israel of intentionally starving civilians in Gaza. But is that what's really happening? And what does international law actually say? Let's begin with the fact that many of the images of children that are circulating on social media are actually children with medical conditions, like the one of Muhammad, who suffers from cerebral palsy, not from starvation. And of course, you see his mother and brother right next to him, looking perfectly healthy and not starving. But what does international law say about how Israel treats Gaza? Article 23 of the Fourth Geneva Convention, which pertains to humanitarian aid, does not impose an unconditional obligation to deliver humanitarian aid to enemy territory during wartime. It states that aid may be permitted, but only if there are no serious reasons to fear that it will be diverted for military purposes or used to aid the enemy. In Gaza, this is not a concern, it's a documented reality. Hamas has a long proven history of seizing aid, stealing fuel to power its rocket launchers, using construction materials to build terror tunnels, and controlling distribution to strengthen its grip on the civilian population. Under these conditions, Israel is fully within its right under international law to restrict or stop aid. We are not legally obligated to provide assistance to the territory controlled by an enemy force actively waging war, holding our citizens hostage, and violating every norm of armed conflict. And yet, we still provide humanitarian aid. Israel has continued to coordinate thousands of aid trucks, open additional crossings, and facilitated the daily delivery of food, water, fuel, and medicine, even as rockets were still fired from Gaza. But here's the part the world is not talking about. Tons of aid are piling up on Gaza's side of the border, and they are rotting because the United Nations is failing to collect it for distribution. There is no famine in Gaza. The situation is difficult, but it is being deliberately manipulated by Hamas and ignored by the UN that lets food rot on the border instead of getting it to the people. So let's stop pretending international law is on Hamas' side. It is not. Israel is not just complying with the law, we are far exceeding what the law requires. Because even while fighting a brutal enemy, Israel chooses to act within humanity, not because we have to, but because it's who we are. If you are tired of the lies, help us fight back with facts. Share this video and support Shurat HaDin as we defend Israel against the legal and media war being waged against us.